Hello everyone, and welcome to a beautiful day in Slime Rancher. Today my extractors have run through their cycle, so I'll be setting up some new ones, and I thought I would bring you all along and share some of where my favorite locations are to place them. So let's head on over to our lab, say good morning to the mosaics. Hello mosaics. And head on over to our refinery and fabricator here. So just an overview, extractors are what we use to gather resources out in the world to fuel our slime science back at home, and we can have up to 6 of each extractor, for a total of 18 extractors at any given time. But certain resources are unique and can only be extracted if the proper extractor is placed in the right area of the world. So like pumps can find deep brine in the dry reef, drills can find indigonium in the Indigo Quarry, and apiaries can find royal jelly in the moss blanket. And all of the extractors can find a special resource in the glass desert. So when we place our extractors, we are looking for areas with a few characteristics. They should be places that are easily accessible, have multiple gadget spots that are close together, and are in a location where slimes will not cause problems or where tar outbreaks are at a minimum. So with that said, I think I'm going to head over to a location that I think is a shining example of such a location, in the Indigo Quarry. So here we are at the location of the first rock Gordo in a small cave with lots of gadget spots. There are in fact 10 spots in this cave for us to place whatever we would like here. Personally, I love to decorate, so I have a lot of these spots filled up already, but I'm going to go ahead and place 2 drills down here, and these drills will provide us with a source of indigonium in addition to the resources that extractors universally mine from drills. Next up, we want to find a location in the dry reef for our pumps that will be extracting deep brine for us. All of your ranch is actually considered part of the dry reef, so if you would like to go ahead and place them down right on your ranch, you can do that. I see a lot of people place them either next to their lab or down at the dock along the shore. But personally, extractors are a little loud and they take up spots that I could be using for decorations, and I like to keep the industrial stuff kind of away from home. So where I'm headed to a little island that is located just between the first Tangle Gordo and the entrance to the moss blanket. I think this is a great little spot because slimes don't spawn here during the day, and we have a teleporter that goes straight back to our farm. But the only problem with this location is that feral slimes do spawn at night here, so you can either place a few taming bells, but taming bells don't always quite work the way you want them to, or you can just harvest resources during the day, which is, I think, the easiest thing to do. I'll go ahead and place down a few pumps here, and these will be our source of deep brine from the dry reef. But I also really like this location because we can head right into the moss blanket where we will be placing our apiaries for our royal jelly. Right at the entrance here, we have a lot of gadget spots, but the immediately apparent downside is the number of slimes that spawn here. So tars will tend to spawn here on occasion, but I think it is still the most easily accessible spot and works very well having our dry reef pumps being located so close. So I'll go ahead and lay down some apiaries here, and these will provide us with royal jelly. So taking a gander at our map, we have drills in the Indigo Quarry, pumps in the dry reef, and apiaries in the moss blanket, and everything is relatively close together. That means the rest of our extractors will be going in the crystal desert to harvest glass shards, pepper jam, and silky sand. The first location I'll recommend is right at the entrance of the crystal desert. Oh, solar anomalies do happen all over the desert, but it looks like this one is clearing up for us right as we make our way in, luckily. Right here at the stairs, where I've placed these palm trees, there are 4 gadget spots where you can place any of the extractors, and there are even more spots down here at the base of the stairs. The spot is also really nice because it's one of the locations where it is possible for gilded ginger to spawn if you're lucky enough. And it's right next to the entrance, so you have an easy way of getting back home. The location I like to use the most is on this little island about midway point on the map, and I've placed a teleporter here that links right to our spot in the Indigo Quarry. It has a number of adjacent gadget spots right next to here, and most of the slimes tend to stay in the little oasis ruins here. Plus there's a nice little view here that has pretty sunsets and looks really beautiful at night. From here, I have another teleporter that leads right to the end of the ruins, which is a very peaceful and secluded spot that again has multiple gadget spots that are all located very close together. I'll admit though, for this location I do feel a little bad placing extractors here because it feels kind of like a special and sacred spot, but nonetheless it's a nice spot for extractors and decorating. Finally, the most central location of the Glass Desert, where the Tangle Gordo is located, is a really nice location for extractors as there's a ring of spots to place them, and the Gordo teleporter makes for an easy way of traveling home. Before we go, I'd like to talk a bit about extractors in the ancient ruins, because you can also gather another unique resource here, echoes. All extractors have a chance to produce echoes here, but there is a much easier way to gather echoes, being echo nets. There's a great little spot to place gadgets right at the entrance of the Crystal Desert, and this is where we have what I like to call my echo trees. Echo nets can produce every color of echo, and I like to store my collected echoes right here at these trays that I've placed. After almost a full day, we have all of our resource extractors placed, and we will have more than enough resources for slime science soon enough. I hope you all find this guide useful, and let me know if there are any locations you feel that I missed that would be a good addition to the list. Happy ranching, everyone.